What the heck did I just call this? To benefit Farm Aid, that's what we were thinking about. Quick qualifying lap. Needed here at the tricky triangle. And then we will be underway. And a week ago, he won the truck race at New Hampshire. Looking to add to that here in the Camping World Truck Series race from Pocono today, on this day before Mother's Day. Once this race is done, we still have another race to do today. That is the Xfinity Series race, and we gotta hurry up and get that done before it gets dark because this track does not have lights. So, I mean, the good news is, though, if we get halfway in the Xfinity Series race, or even 100 laps in, then it's official if we do run into darkness. But we're going to try to get both the Camping World Truck Series race and the Xfinity Series race in today. And we will not be bringing you coverage of the Xfinity Series race. But Twitch Sports Network 1 will. They are here ready to call the shots as soon as we are finished. We got 60 laps, 150 miles here in this Pocono race. And it's a good race from here too. I mean, yeah, it's a fun race too. You get to race the tricky triangle. I mean, it gets better and better. And then on Mother's Day, you got a cup race here as we get closer and closer to Throwback Weekend.
Alright, that's it.
And I believe that is enough for a 4th place start, and that is. So Ross Chastain starts on the pole here for Pocono. 60 laps, 150 miles.
Coming to the green, driver. Almost ready. Green
And we are green from the tricky triangle. So it looks like 15 laps here in stage 1. Crossover on Stuart Friesen. Winner of the first Daytona race.
Alright, you're clear.
And then you head into turn 1. The 11 starting to pull away. Could this be another victory for him again? Well, that's what you want to see too. You want to get a run that you take the lead and then just run away with it. But again, even this track, you can't gas it through the turns. Yeah, the turns are very, very kind of banked, but not really. If you're not careful, you can shoot up the track just like New Hampshire a week ago and just like the other tracks. So Ross Chastain started on the pole, but the 11 brings the field around and leads lap 1. And just for those of you wondering, this will not be a doubleheader weekend for the Cup Series because, one, since the track doesn't have lights, we have to run the truck and Xfinity race on the same day as the 11 gets in the wall a little bit. And two, just there were already too many other races on the schedule. So Charlotte, another trip to Charlotte for the Cup Series a week before the regular season finale will fill the second Pocono race spot. Unless if they decide to move it to a different track. As Austin Hill moves up to second there. I want to see what the 11's going to do for his throwback, though. He says he still has to figure one out, but because he has to figure out one for all 3 series, because he races in all 3 series. He races Xfinity, Trucks, and Cup. He already knows what he's going to do for the Xfinity series and the Cup series. So that should not be hard. But the Truck series he'll do some research on and get ready for Throwback Weekend, which Throwback Weekend is the first race for the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. There are talks into having 2 Throwback Weekends next season. So the first race at Darlington will be a Throwback Weekend, and then the playoff race will be an optional Throwback Weekend, so you can choose to do a throwback or not. But the first one, I mean, it's still optional in the first one, just the first one is going to be like the more common throwback weekend. So a lot, if there were all humans in this league, there would be a lot of vehicle or trucks in the field, or Xfinity cars or Cup cars in the field with throwbacks. But both are optional. You don't have to run a throwback. It's not mandatory. But if you are running a throwback, you need to figure it out before that race, at least 5 to 6 races in advance.
Keep it up. That was your best
For the
lap ever.
playoffs, the drivers get more time to figure out their throwback ideas, as we are 5 or 4 laps in this event here at Pocono Raceway. Again, it's 4:41 Eastern Standard Time. We gotta get this one over with, and then we still got Xfinity Series to run. But if it's starting to get, if they know it's gonna start to get dark soon, they probably won't even start the Xfinity race until tomorrow. Or instead of starting it tomorrow, they'll probably wait until Monday, or they'll do Xfinity tomorrow and then move the Cup Series to Monday. Up next after this, Eldora for the Eldora Dirt Derby. A season ago, the leader of this race, which is the 11, back when he was driving the 18, he won that race. He's also going to race the late models.
All right, you're clear.
In both the SRX late models he's going to race, and then the ones here on NASCAR Heat 5 he's going to race there too, so that will be fun.
Still there. You're all clear up top.
As you see, trucks are starting to be lapped by the leader.
All clear.
Nine laps to go in stage 1. Now to the one viewer, a reminder, after this, the Xfinity Series will go green unless...
All right, you're clear.
Unless if it starts to get dark. But it will not be broadcast on this channel, it will be broadcast on the Twitch channel, which is all lowercase Twitch_sports_network1. If you want to tune into that race. Chances are the person watching is already a subscriber on both, so they don't have to worry about the channel, but I can always put it in the comments before I end the live, just in case other people happen to run on this video. Even if they run into this video next year, they can still subscribe to the channel and watch future races. One thing that us and Twitch Sports Network 1 are going to have in common starting next season is for all racing series, including SRX, late models, Truck Series, and Xfinity Series, is we're gonna start to do highlights videos once we figure out how to exactly do that. So what we're gonna do is probably we'll take a screen recording of the race and then edit it out into a small highlights video, kind of like what you would see after a race or football game. And those of you wondering about the Summer League, the only reason it has not kicked off yet is because we were busy this weekend. So instead of this week kicking it off, we're going to kick it off on Tuesday. Tuesday, May 10th. Later that night. Either Tuesday, nah, let's do the 9th, because on Tuesday we're kind of busy also. So Monday the 9th, so 2 days from now, we will kick off Summer League Week 1, and that will be Detroit Lions versus Houston Texans in Mexico City, Mexico, because the champion from the season before always gets to kick it off in Mexico City. And the past 2 seasons, the Lions have won the championship in a row. They've been pretty good in the Summer League, and I definitely enjoy watching their team. They do have some players that probably realistically would not be on their team in real life, but overall good team. But Monday, May 9th, 8:15 p.m. would be a perfect time, and probably earlier, but the latest 8:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube TV.
Still there. All clear.
Then once we kick that off, then we'll start to do highlights videos of that. So basically, any sports, you will be able to access highlight videos in case you miss something like a race or a football game, but you're curious to know who won.
Careful, still there.
You can just watch
All right, you're clear.
highlight reel, or you could just choose to rewatch the whole race. Now, here's the thing though. We're going to, the ones that are done on Twitch, we're still gonna put on here for the highlights videos. So, if you wanted to watch the whole entire race or the whole entire football game, basketball, baseball, whatever, you would have to go over to the Twitch. But you could watch the videos Twitch live streams in our highlight reel section on here. So every game, every week, every race, you get the picture. But meanwhile, we got 5 to go in stage 1 here. At the 11th sled, all the laps so far. He started 4th, managed to get the lead away from Ross Chastain, and Austin Hill was able to take 2nd away from Ross Chastain. Chastain also doing the Cup race. Trevor Bayne on board this week in the Xfinity Series, racing the number 18.
All right, you're clear.
But again, we're not live streaming that on here, so just a reminder. We live streamed the first half of the Xfinity and Cup Series season, and then after the All-Star race, Twitch Sports Network 1 takes over for the final races of the regular season and all the way in the playoffs and championship race. So for the Cup Series, it's the final 10 regular season races and the final 10 races of the season for a total of 20 that Twitch streams, and then same with Xfinity.
All right, you're clear.
But all season long for the Camping World Truck Series, we live stream their races right here. After this season, just like at the end of last season, the racers will enjoy a 1 month off season, and then we're back at it. So in that 1 month, they'll plan stuff for their teams, if they're team owners, such as the 11. He's the owner of Team Urbane, obviously, because, well, his last name,
All clear.
Urbane, so he is the head man of that, and chances are he will be working to find potentially new recruits for the league and for his team. And he even has a co-owned team that they'll probably discuss. I would love to see them come over to NASCAR. So could they do that this offseason? We don't know. I mean, they haven't really said anything much about it yet. The last time we spoke with currently the leader, Urbane himself, about the co-owned team coming to NASCAR potentially, he just said, you'll find out. As John Hunter Nemechek goes a lap now. So, 2 at the line here in stage 1. I gotta say, knock on wood, it's been pretty clean here in stage 1. No caution so far, but I have found that usually when we say that, a yellow flag ends up coming out, so that's why we knocked on wood.
2 at the line.
And by the way, to the person that commented, I will answer those at the end of the stage. So 2 laps to go in stage 1. And only one MLB game has been played, and only one hockey game has been played currently. The hockey game was live streamed on here, but the MLB game was not. We're gonna find a schedule that would work perfectly to get those back on the air for you guys to watch. So those are not over. We're not canceling those seasons. Just there's too much stuff going on right now. So we need to figure out what would be perfect to start live streaming those, because we're going to be picking up football games for the summer. And then when the fall rolls around, we're going to be picking up basketball. Final lap of stage 1. As Chastain has fallen back to 8th, and he's actually going to go a lap down and if not get spun out. No, he does not get spun. And he's going to go a lap down, and the 11th is barely missing the wall. Great coverage by our drone there to show you how close he was to that wall. He was flirting with the wall there, but he succeeded. It didn't slap him. So. Matt DiBenedetto running 7th, and we all know, I know that says Smith, but we are just pretending that Matt DiBenedetto drives.
Got a car high now.
Since there's not a number 25. Zane Smith in 6th, gonna go a lap down.
Clear high, bud.
And along with Matt Crafton, and it was crazy as the 11 wins stage 1. Last week at New Hampshire, it was Matt Crafton and Grant Enfinger battling it out for 2nd, and Matt Crafton won 2nd place at the end of the race. So that was wild, watching Matt Crafton win the battle for 2nd. However, the 11 was just too far ahead of the other people. And what is up, champion? We hope you enjoy here. And stage 1 is complete. So the 11 will restart 2nd, and a lot of trucks took the wave around, so they are back on the lead lap.
Driver. Be ready here.
And we're going green here in stage 2.
Got one inside. They're all clear on the bottom.
And we will wait on NASCAR officials to determine about the Xfinity Series race, since it is getting late afternoon and we don't know how long this truck race could take. And meanwhile, the 11 back to the lead. Something tells me if the 11 keeps it up, he's going to be parking his truck in victory lane here again. That'd be 3 weeks in a row, too. Parking that truck in victory lane. Martinsville, then he won Martinsville, then turned around, won New Hampshire last week. And he would love to capitalize it off with a win here at Pocono, which they call it the tricky triangle for a reason, because it is tricky to navigate. I mean, most racetracks have, unless if it's a road course, have 4 turns, but this track only has 3 because it is a right triangle. So that is another reason why it is the tricky triangle. Because you think there's 4 turns because of that turn back there, having technically 2 left-hand turns, but they count that as 1 turn, and then what would be turns 3 and 4 count as turns 2 and 3. And it just really, you gotta know when to brake here, because you can't just full throttle it in the turns. Not very much room for error either, as just like New Hampshire and Martinsville, you got walls all over the place. If you get turned or spin out, depending on where you go, it can be hard to miss those. So again, we are waiting on NASCAR officials to see what they're going to do about the Xfinity Series race. It could be potentially moved to tomorrow or Monday, which would be before, way before, and give us a second.
I made biscuits, come grab one for you.
Alright, we apologize about that. Anyway, what we were saying was, if the Xfinity Series race is moved to tomorrow, that they have said if it's moved to tomorrow, the Cup Series will be moved to Monday. But if they move, whichever series they move, this is what we're trying to say. Whichever series they move to Monday, rather it be Xfinity or Cup Series, that race will obviously still have to be done during the day. So that means it would have to be done around 3:30, 4 o'clock, or at least started around 3:30. Because again, this track does not have lights, so they need to at least get halfway through the race or 100 laps in to make it official. And then obviously that's before the Lions and Texans in Mexico City. I almost said New Mexico for some reason. But in Mexico City, because they kick it off at 8:15 there under the lights. That is actually where we are calling the race from, is Mexico City. Just so that way we're already here with our YouTube TV network crew. We're in New Mexico, but we do have YouTube TV network cameras up there at Pocono Raceway. Just gotta keep it realistic. I wish people would not send me messages when I'm live streaming. The only way that they wouldn't know I'm live streaming is if they weren't watching still. If you're subbed to my channel, please look out and see if I'm live streaming before you send me a message on PlayStation, because it's kind of annoying when it puts the black strip over it, then people can't see the lap or stuff like that. As Joe Nemechek, interesting name, that you don't hear about every week, moves up to 2nd. And there is a truck out of the race, just so you guys know. Again, after here at Pocono, our crew moves to Eldora in Ohio, and we'll be done with the game in Mexico City by then, so we'll be able to fly up to Ohio and call the shots at the actual track instead of having to call it down south. And then from there we go and play some Friday night lights between a couple of teams. I can't really remember who they are, but we'll tell you more about that later. Probably on Tuesday or Monday during the Lions and Texans game.
Still there. Clear high, bud. All clear.
Now we're going to have 6 to go here in stage 2.
All right, clear out.
The 11 still continues to lead, and I'm kind of dominating this race.
Clear all around. All clear.
Yeah, he's definitely a favorite to win both the regular season championship and the championship. Oh, into the back of Ingram, and that's going to bring out our second caution. Yeah, definitely. But anyway, what we were talking about, Ingram mostly kept clean until that, but in reality, Ingram probably should have stayed high and
Almost ready.
yielded to the faster trucks. But did not, and that resulted in him getting spun out, but that does put the pressure on Joe Nemechek now. And our regular season finale for the Camping World Truck Series will be Texas. So that will be the first race of the round of 12 for the start of the playoffs for the Xfinity Series, but the first race of the round of 12 for the Cup Series as well. So keep that in mind. So when the checkered flag waves in Texas, that is when your regular season champion will be crowned. And then again, that is the driver's last chance to make the playoffs. If they don't, that's just it. The top 10 drivers in points move on to the playoffs, and those start at Talladega for the round of 10. So what is the round of 12 for the Xfinity Series and Cup Series turns out to be the round of 10 for the Truck Series. We have 2 races in the round of 10. Talladega, and then the elimination race at the Charlotte Roval, where 2 drivers will be eliminated. Then we have our round of 8 races, which is the same as every race will be the same, but it will all match then. So for every series, it will be the round of 8. Instead of 1 series being the round of 10 and 2 series being the round of 12. And that is where we move into Xfinity talk. Xfinity Series, they take the top 12 drivers in points, and after Bristol, which is the Xfinity Series regular season finale, the regular season champion will be crowned, and that is the driver's last chance to make the playoffs. And then the top 12 go on enter Texas for the start of the playoffs and the round of 12. And then for the Cup Series, Daytona, race number 26 is their regular season finale. That is the final chance for any driver to make the playoffs. After that, the top 16 cars and points will enter Darlington Raceway for the first race of their playoffs and the first race of the round of 16. So, we just explained those so it made sense to everybody how the playoffs work. It goes for the Cup Series, it goes round of 16, round of 12, round of 8, championship 4. Xfinity Series, round of 12, round of 8, championship 4. Truck Series, round of 10, round of 8, and championship 4. The championship 4 is the only race that has 1 race. And then only 4 drivers are eligible to win the championship. Now, that does not mean only 4 trucks are going to race. Every truck, every Xfinity car, every Cup car will still be in that race. Just only 4 of them, as the 11-1 Stage 2 this time. Just only 4 of them are eligible to win the championship. And that will be at Phoenix Raceway. But any other race, excluding the Truck Series, round of 10, will be 3 races. So for Xfinity and Cup, each round is 3 races. The first 2 races, then the elimination race. The elimination race will eliminate 4 drivers from the playoffs, and then they move on to the next round. For the Truck Series, it's different. The 10 drivers go in, and instead of 3 races, there's 2 races. 1 race, and then the elimination race, which will eliminate 2 drivers. Then, for the round of 8, the truck drivers enter. That will be 3 races, 2 main races, and then the elimination race, as we're underway in the final stage, by the way. And then, obviously, after the elimination race, that will eliminate 4 drivers from the playoffs, and the officials has decided to move the Xfinity race to Monday before the football game, obviously, because this track does not have lights. So the Xfinity Series will be on Monday around 3:30, 4 o'clock. That way the Cup Series races tomorrow, and then they'll just have Xfinity on Monday. Trucks will move to Eldora, and Cup cars will head to Richmond. And then Xfinity cars after Monday will head to Richmond as well. And then after Wednesday night for the Truck Series, oh, that's a hard lick for the 11. Well, that's not a fourth caution though, so we stay green. Only 3 cautions so far. But anyway, what we were trying to say was that Wednesday for the Truck Series race from Eldora, since it's a midweek race. After that, they will move to Richmond as well. So next weekend is Richmond. Next season, there will be 2 races from Richmond for all 3 series. There will be 1 race from Richmond that we broadcast on here for the Xfinity and Cup Series, and then 1 broadcast on Twitch Sports Network 1 for them. And both races will be in the regular season, just so you know. And then for the Truck Series, we'll be broadcasting both of those because we broadcast the entire season, all the way to the championship. Last year, we picked up the Cup Series championship race and the Xfinity Series championship race because Twitch Sports Network 1 was overwhelmed with other stuff, so we brought you coverage of those, but this year will be their first year bringing you Cup and Xfinity coverage. We're not there yet, though. We are almost there, but not quite there. I believe that will be the second weekend in August, too, for the championship racing, unless if that changes. That is always prone to change. Lap 37 of 60. It's been a fun race here at Pocono this afternoon, and unfortunately, since we had to do some running today, we won't be able to bring you coverage of the Xfinity Series race today. That and there was kind of a pop-up shower in the area earlier too that kind of delayed the truck racing. But we will be proud to, well, actually we weren't bringing you coverage, but we will be proud to watch the Xfinity Series race on Monday, and I'm sure Twitch Sports Network 1 will be proud to bring you coverage. Monday afternoon. How about that? Well, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we bring you GTA 5 Live PD. For the first time in a couple weeks. Everybody needed a much-needed break during the season, which is fine because they are almost done. This is like the last month of Season 3, and then Season 4 begins in June. So it never hurts to take a much-needed break between that. 22 laps to go. And we just checked, the trucks have about 27 laps of fuel, so that is enough to make it to the end of the race. You know, one thing I've never understood is why NASCAR tracks don't just get lights at once that don't have a light. could toss some lights up at Pocono. I mean, it would be expensive and you'd have to install quite a bit, or quite a few, but it's worth it. And I mean, Talladega, come on, it'd be nice to see a night race at Talladega. No, why do you need my structure?
I just want to inspect it.
Why?
Because I want to see if it'll work on Grandma's computer. Because I think her charger broke. I don't know if
No, you ain't using mine then.
No, I just want to see what kind of charger she would need. Because hers doesn't say on.
It's a circle charger.
Yeah, can I see it though?
No, you have to explain to Grandma that her charger broke.
It didn't break. It's just it won't start. Why can't I just see it?
Because that charger came with a $1,000 laptop, and I don't think so. Now it'd be different if Grandma said she needed it. Alright, excuse us for that. Sorry.
Still there. All clear. Alright, you're clear.
So, 21 to go. And Dean's gonna do the same thing that
All clear.
the 26 did earlier. But the 11 makes its way around safely. But yeah, put some lights up at these tracks. That way if the rain does come and postpone, or not postpone, does come and delays everything, then you can just make it a night race.
Careful, still there. Alright, clear outside.
You know, one thing I want to see them adopt, though, is making the Daytona 500 a night race. I find that certain drivers seem to perform better when it's a primetime race than they do during day races. So if you made the Daytona 500 a night race, since Daytona does have lights, obviously, because when the Truck Series races there, they race under the lights, same with the Xfinity Series, but anyway, back to what we were saying, is, I mean, this season they got it in without any rain, but there's our fourth caution. But usually they do get some rain showers there, and that, like, really can postpone stuff. It did in 2020, or it could just delay it, like it did in 2021, and they didn't restart that thing in 2021 till like 9 that night, and they were still in stage 1. They just made it a night race. As long as there was no rain scheduled for night, then I feel like that issue would be avoided, and there would be drivers that would actually perform a lot better. I'd say 6:30 would be a great time to start the Daytona 500. But then again, they would probably have to talk to Fox about that, because it depends on what Fox can do. Maybe they can only do the race during the daytime, but it would still be nice to just make it a night race. I remember in 2021, they decided to make it a night race instead of postpone it to Monday because Fox wanted that race done that night, on that Sunday. They said, we need to get this race in tonight. So, I would think that they could work with Fox and get something going to make it a primetime race. And then it could, 6:30, probably be over by 10 o'clock. Depending on the number of cautions. And, I mean, you could get a pop-up shower or two, it's possible, but still, a night race would be awesome, and the Daytona 500, to me, seems like it would be a night race to begin with. Open up the season under the lights. back to our race here. 11 managed to continue to lead as we had our fourth caution just a little bit ago. And he's going to bring it off turn 3 here and lead another lap. With 15 to go. Getting down to the wire. Can Joe Nemechek catch the 11? I mean, we had a question though, like last week at New Hampshire, if Matt Crafton or Grant Enfinger could catch the 11, and they were unable to do so. So, I mean, could we see this again where Joe Nemechek has the potential to catch the 11, but just cannot? Coming to 14 to go.